I'm thinking maybe you and I could partner up.
What's going on, guys? LoganJYA here, and I'm with my boy Julian. The People's Champion of YCS Hartford is back after topping the Edison Regionals, getting top 4 with Eldlich Tearalament. This is a very original take on this brand new archetype. I didn't see anybody else in the room playing it, and our man ended up going top 4 with it. So, Julian, first and foremost, how you doing, my man?
Doing great, doing great.
Awesome, man. And this deck performed well for you?
I felt like I had the best deck in the room.
I mean, dude, I tell you, did you come up with this idea on your own? Did you see anything in the OCG? Like, what was the inspiration here?
All right, so shout outs to Steve Gleason and Rolando Mora for helping me test. So we were playing a list with just straight up trap cards like Torrential and Dynamiscus because we thought like, oh, that'd be crazy. Just, you know, good cards. But I took it to a local. It felt kind of meh. And then Friday morning, Steve sent me a list with Skill Drain in it. We were playing TC Boo, but we weren't playing Skill Drain. And then he told me that Skill Drain was crazy because obviously all your stuff activates in Grave. If you have the Tearalament field spell up, your monsters are just bigger than everyone else's. And it was 2 in the morning, and me and Rolando were playtesting with a list Steve had sent me Friday. And it was doing okay, and then me and Rolando looked each other in the eyes and we're like, Eldlich cards. And I was like, oh my god, it has to be crazy. So we threw it together, played like 2 games with it, and then I went to bed, and it just ended up being the craziest thing.
Dude, this looks absolutely insane. And I gotta tell you, like, it's just such a good idea that makes so much sense, and it clearly works in execution, as you are evidence of that. So,
Yeah.
what was your ending record? I know it was 9 rounds at Edison. What was your record?
I ended 7-0-2. I had 2 ties.
Technically undefeated, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, technically.
That is insane, dude. Well, any other shout outs you want to give before we hop into the profile?
Yes, of course. Will Bencio, Steve Adams, and Brody for lending me cards. Couldn't have done it without you. Thank you. Everyone in the Discord, Connor, Chris Lynn, Kevin Lopez, Nick Binner, Team EB Gaming, Evan Berlaga Gaming, best team in the world, and of course, Big Game Home Video. Please subscribe.
Of course. Link in the description, everybody. Go check out Big Game Home Video. I swear to goodness, you guys will have a fun time. I always do. And at the end of the video, you gotta hear, we're gonna leak things about the new YuGiOh anime. Alright, guys? Nah, I'm just joking.
Oh, hey. We're under NDA.
Uh-oh. I didn't say anything. Well, without further ado, guys, let's break down this deck list, and we're going to do, question and answers with Julian, and then at the end of the video, we'll go over his matchups and really get down into the nitty-gritty of how this deck performed. But first, let's get into things here. We got 2 Eldlich the Golden Lord, pretty standard. The 1 Should All Beast to give you access to the window. Triple copies of, I think, every Tearalament card. We got the Hand Trap Havness, the Merrily, the Rhino Heart, and then Scharen. I don't know how to pronounce any of their names.
Siren.
That one. Hell yeah. And 3 ofs of everything. Honestly, the monster lineup looks pretty succinct, pretty correct. Is there anything else you wish to play monster-wise? I probably doubt it, but...
I'm going to say this. Shadal Beast was the worst card in my deck. I never summoned Winda because I never milled it. 2 of the games I lost were because that card was in my hand. And people may think I'm crazy for saying this, but I don't think you need to play Winda in the deck. Especially, well, this version specifically, right? I don't think Winda's needed. I mean, sure, you could high roll and like do the Hobness turn, quote unquote, turn 0 Winda them, and that's just not good. And made for an easy side out every game. That was nice.
Fair enough. I mean, so in future builds, you think you're going to cut the Shadal package entirely?
It's either cut the Shadal package or play Dragon or Ariel because they're level 4s. And I think Ariel's just Banish 3 is crazy.
True. Triple DD Crow. As a Drytron player, I hate getting aerialed. Well, let's slide into the spells now. We got 2 copies of the Cursed Eldland, 1 Foolish Burial, of course, Instant Fusion, Triple Prosperity, Triple Field Spell, and the 1 Terraforming. Now, the biggest thing that's standing out to me here is we're only doing Cursed Eldland. Any logic behind this decision?
The deck, I honestly don't know. To me, when we played like a few games with 3 Cursed Eldland, and I kept overdrawing it, and I was like, I'll just cut it to 2. And then the Can't Declare Tax, except with zombie monsters, I thought was going to come up a lot more. So I was like, I don't want to play Cursed Eldland. And as soon as I said that, like, round 2 or 3, because like round 2, I was like talking to Rolando, I'm like, I want to cut Eldland, I don't like it. And then immediately comes up, and then came up forever. Well, I think 2's fine. You
think you'll keep it at 2 in the future?
Yeah.
Gotcha. I mean, it makes sense. We're doing it OCG style. Just look at it like that.
Yeah.
All right. And I think outside of the spells, everything seems succinct, correct. Nothing that's not a staple here.
Yeah. Sorry. A cool thing you could do with Eldland is if you draw Cursed Eldland and the Tearalament's Continuous Trap, it didn't come up for me, but because you have, like, so little monsters, you're pretty much always guaranteed to draw a spell or trap. So, like, you could go Eldland, add Golden Lord, set the Sullik, and then Lord discard another spell in himself, send the Sullik, so you could add Rhino Heart. So you have access to both engines immediately.
Yeah, that's pretty spice. I like that.
It never came up, but, like, the fact that it's there is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Outside of that, oh, right, I do like to ask this question. What are your, let's just say, you know, going first, what's your go-to prosperity banishes? You going 3, you going 6? What are you usually doing?
I like seeing cards in my deck, but I know it's definitely not right if you have access to everything you want. I usually do 3, but if I'm going first, I usually do, like, 1 Draco Stapelia, one Draco Stapelia, Gustav Max, and then, like, maybe Link Spider.
Gotcha.
And then, like, it depends on, like, what my hand is.
Makes sense.
Because you have, like, the Eldlich cards to make, like, Pleiades and Gustav Max and other stuff.
For sure. Well, with that, let's move into the traps. Obviously, if you guys have ever played Eldlich, you already know what to expect here. Triple Conch, Triple Scarlet, only double Hawk, Triple Skill Drain, and then for the tier elements, we got the 1 Meta Nose and then the 1 Sullik, and then triple, there can be only 1. Now, Skill Drain, Tikaboo, some would say these cards may conflict with your main engines in here, but, you know, describe your choices here. What was the logic behind them?
For TC Boo, the main thing was Rhino Heart was a warrior, and sure, all the Tearalament monsters are, like, Aqua, the main deck ones, but if you just get them to the graveyard and then you just make Kikalos, and then it's like you have a warrior, you have an Aqua, and then if you confuse on the opponent's turn, you can make anything in your extra deck pretty much. And yeah, that's pretty much it with TC Boo. And Skill Drain, obviously, all your cards activate in the graveyard. You just shut off everything. I mean, TC Boo obviously hurts Splight. They just can't play. And then under Skill Drain, they could kind of play, but they'll never make anything that's bigger than any of your monsters.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All right.
And in the mirror, you have, like, because everyone's doing, like, branded stuff, so, like, if they activate Branded Fusion and you change Skill Drain or whatever, they're just immediately behind.
Oh, yeah. That feels bad, man. Big feels bad moment there.
And when you're going second and you go Hobness and you mill, like, a Conch Elixir, you're probably winning the game then on the spot.
And now I do want to ask this before we move on to the side and extra. Was there ever a time that on your opponent going first, you Havness them and then milled a Scarlet and then either a Conch or a Hawk?
Yes, I have. They were very confused, and I was king of the world.
I love it. All right, cool.
A cool thing about Havness is, like, when you add, because I usually add it if I, like, do the full combo or whatever and don't need anything else. That just your opponent knowing you have Havness just, like, makes them play really weirdly, because if they activate a monster effect, they have to do something to the Hobness immediately. Otherwise, you're going to potentially fuse. And when you fuse in the opponent's turn, you win the game.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. All right, with that, let's move on to the side. Triple Lava Golem, baby. Heck yes. Triple Dark Ruler, no more. We got 2 Mystic Mines and a set Roto, triple Deck Devastation Virus, and then triple Solemn Judgment. So, Judgment, Deck Devi, makes sense, right? We got the Dark Ruler, no more, blow out those build-the-board decks. But then, Lava Golem is my man. You already know. You see it in all our Drytron profiles. How many people did you end up Lava Goleming?
Like 2 maybe. One of the ties I had, if there was like a minute left, I was gonna win because I was gonna Prosperity for Lava Golem and just Lava Golem pass. And the one other time I drew Lava Golem against the Sprite deck, they had a pointer and hit the Lava Golem out of my hand.
Oof. Wow.
Still won though, by the way.
Heck yeah, heck yeah. All right, and then Mystic Mine in the side. That's definitely a little interesting. You want to explain that choice?
Yeah, so with the Mystic Mine and set rotation, that was another thing. Steve sent me a list with... The list he sent me was meaning 3 mine, 3 field spell in the set rotation, because the idea is going second, you could get Mystic Mine. But also going first, you could give yourself the Tearalament field spell, and then give your opponent Mystic Mine. And then when you fuse, you do the field spell effect to just destroy the Mystic Mine, so they never get a chance to flip it up on you.
Right. And did it end up working out for you?
The problem is, they'll see your Eldlich cards, so backer removal will just come in, so there was just like... If I sided it in, I probably put myself at a big disadvantage.
Makes sense. Fair enough. And what do you think you'd change it for in the future?
Anti-Spell Fragrance should have definitely been on my deck list, but I forgot that card existed.
Fair enough. So that's a pretty easy one then. We'll take out the Mystic Mine, set Roto, throw in 3 throw in 3 anti-spells and call it a day. Now with that, let's move.
Devi, I didn't draw it very often, nor did I get to proc it. Deck Devi's kind of iffy, but I mean, like, there's a lot of decks that if you draw it against, it's just obviously a blowout, like Splade, and then Punk, depending on, like, you could flip it at a certain point and just, like, hit all the tuners. Yeah. And there's some rogue decks where it's just, like, they can't play after you flip it.
And it literally has the old Crush card text. This card is insane.
Yes.
You look at everything they draw for 3 turns. That's
probably
baby.
That's probably the best part of the card, to be honest.
Yeah, that's where my head's always at with that thing. But definitely a demon card, but you have to see it. It's not really searchable unless you're playing something like Trap Trick. And in a deck like this, there's no room for that because all of our traps are continuous. Anyway, let's get into this extra deck. We got the 1 Winda, the 1 Millenniumized Restrict, 2 copies of Draco Stapelia, the 1 Kaleido Heart, and then 2 Kit Kalos. Rank 4s, we got our boy Abyss Dweller, and I'll jump over here to show our boy Redoer. We got Pleiades, Zeus, Gustav Max, the big gun that burns, and then for Link Monsters, very consolidated package here. We got Dark, Link Spider, and then Underworld Goddess, bringing the entire list to a close. Now, in the extra deck here, I know what the Redoer does in this deck, so no need to explain that. But I'm curious more so about the entirety of the Exceed package. You know, which ones were you summoning most often? What was best? What was mid? Would you make any changes?
For the Exceed part specifically, we cut Exciton Knight at the last minute, and that was a huge mistake.
Can't be doing that, bro. I love that card.
Exciton Knight comes up so much. And, like, there's the world where, like, you Exciton Knight, it resolves, you attack, and you put a Zeus on top of it. And that's crazy, unfortunately. Never came up, obviously, because Exciton Knight is not in my deck list. I didn't summon Zeus at all. Gustav Max came up, but I was a dumb dummy and banished it off Prosperity because I was like, I'm never summoning this, and then immediately could have summoned it. Oops. Yeah, just Exciton Knight. Pleiades, you gotta do it because of the Conquero. And you just summon Pleiades, and like they go normal summon a monster, bounce, they lose. Dweller's Dweller. I summoned Reader the most.
Right.
He's just insane. Nothing much to say about him. But for the fusions, I never summoned Winda. I never summoned Millennium Eyes. I'm not playing King of the Swamp, obviously. I do not like that card, but I mean, it has its uses in the other versions, but the only way you're summoning Millennium Eyes is off Instant Fusion, and if I drew Instant Fusion, I was just always summoning Kid Kolos, because there's just never a reason for Millennium Eyes. So
and I want to talk about the links here real quick. It's a very small package here. So we only got Dark, Link Spider, and Underworld. Would you make any changes here? How good was the Dark? I know what the Link Spider is for, and how good was the Underworld? Curious about that.
I summoned Underworld Goddess once, but that was because I banished Gustav Max. So in a sense, it wouldn't have came up, but it was just nice to have. Link Spider, I thought would come up a lot more. I never summoned it. Dark, also, it was good to have, but I never needed to summon it. But I would cut probably Link Spider and maybe play the Water Charmer. Because, like, in Splite, you could take their Toad. You can, in the mirror match, take the Rhino Heart. But I only played one mirror, so who's to say? But obviously, I'm definitely cutting Wyndham Millennium Eyes for sure.
Gotcha. All right, well, with that, that's it for the profile. But guys, don't go leaving yet, because we got some more to talk about. Let's hear about those matchups, Julian, if you don't mind giving us the quick rundown.
Yeah, sure. Round 1, I played against Sprite. I won. Round 2, I played against Predaplant Branded. That was a draw. Round 3 was Drytron. That was a win. Round 4 was Ogdautic. That was close, but it was a win. Round 5 was Sprite. That was a win. Round 6 was the Mirror. That was a win. Round 7, I played against Branded Brave Eldlich. That was a draw. Round 8, I played against Altergeist. I won.
Oof.
And then round 9 was Sprite, which was also a win. Although, game 1, round 9, he hand-trapped me, so I had Rhino Heart, Field Spell, and set 4. Felt great. And then he went Prosperity Lightning Storm in the main deck, and I wanted to throw up.
Oh, God.
But
well,
came back in the end.
Heck yeah. Now, what was the hardest matchup you faced off?
I honestly want to say the Ogdautic one, because that deck was scary.
What kind of combo was he? Was he doing the Giant Trainer combo? Which one was it?
Yeah, it was like Giant Trainer, and like Baron, and Zombie Vampire and stuff. It was terrifying, but I mean, that was really the only like roguish deck I played against. But against everything meta, I don't want to say it was easy, but I mean, like, took him down single-handedly. Both draws, I definitely could have won if there was more time, obviously, but I don't like scooping games I think I could win.
That's fair. I totally get that, and I think that's a flaw that a lot of us kind of relate to, you know what I mean? And you don't always plan for time like that. It just is what it is. But Julian, my man, congratulations on a kick-butt job once again.
Thank you very much.
The people's champion out here innovating with his squad, bro. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Give this deck list a try. Let me know what you think about it. And be sure to give props to our boy at Big Game Home Video. Check out his channel. Link in the description down below. You won't be disappointed.
There's one more thing I want to say. Sorry to interrupt.
Go for it.
Don't want to sound arrogant, but I think, like, this is the way to play the deck because it synergizes so well. And, like, if you play against a mirror match, you should probably just win because your deck's better.
That's what I like to hear. See, that is the type of energy we need to bring. Tell them like it is, Julian. Tell them that this build is the way to go. It's that simple, guys. And you heard it here first. Anyway, guys, if you have any questions for Julian, be sure to leave them down in the description down below. I will be absolutely certain to forward them along to him. And that's all I got. LoganJYA with my boy Julian signing off. Have a great day, and I'll see you chumps later. Peace. 心の隙間埋め